Welcome to Trivial 10, the show that provides you with offbeat facts about any given subject. This week, the man, the myth, the legend, J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yes. I'm so stinking excited. I literally just finished reading all 3 of the books. I'm not going to get too far ahead. I'm just excited to get going on this.
No, it's going to be awesome. and if you've been living under a cave for under a cave? Under a rock? In a cave?
If you've been living under a cave, you've definitely missed out on this because you've missed out on some other things too, like getting out from under the cave.
Right. So this guy, he writes Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, not to mention a few other works having to deal with Middle Earth. Really nerding out, especially when I say Middle Earth. Do you feel like you're nerding out?
A little bit, yeah. I'm definitely nerding out a little bit. I've got a smile on my face.
That's awesome. I love it. Awesome. Well, don't forget to like, follow, and share. I'm Jordan. That's Juan. Let's get trivial.
Wow.
Number 1. John Ronald Reuel Tolkien was born in 1892 in South Africa, where his father was the head of the Bloemfontein. I'm going to try that one again.
Let's go.
The Bloemfontein Bank.
Ooh.
He and his mother moved to London after his father passed away.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Fortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like back then, everybody was dying back then.
Yeah.
All
the
time.
further
This is
back you go.
World War I.
Yeah.
Yeah, the further back you go, the less your life expectancy is.
That's why everybody had 12 kids.
That's true.
Because you were probably going to lose half of them in the first 10 years.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way it is in the animal kingdom.
It is.
Possums, scorpions, and people who lived in the early 20th century.
There you go.
It's a terrible
But
correlation.
it's truth hurts.
Yeah,
truth doesn't care about your feelings, right? As Ben Shapiro says.
Neither does death.
Neither does death.
That's why they were having 12 kids.
That's right. But yeah, I didn't know that he was from South Africa. Did you know that?
So I knew a little bit, only because I had seen the Tolkien movie a couple years back with some of my friends. It was like a low, under the radar movie. Like it wasn't like a major blockbuster or anything.
Wow.
So yeah, I actually had forgotten, and I didn't know about his dad passing away, and I didn't know what was his full name again.
John Ronald Reuel.
Ronald Reuel. I would go by J.R.R. as well.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Good choice. Good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that's number 1. Now, what's really sad is his mother passed away like a few years after that. So he lost both of them, but we'll get on to that. But number 2, the village of Cerridon in Worcestershire.
Yes, let's go.
Golly,
that's
those
always a
tough
tough
ones.
one. Worcestershire.
It
right?
is.
Worcestershire.
Good job, though.
Worcestershire.
It provided the foundation for Hobbiton, which is a place in Middle Earth for non-nerds. For a short time, he lived on his aunt's farm called... Do you want to guess the name of it?
His aunt's farm. It wasn't. Was it called Shire?
It's called Bag End.
No way.
Yeah.
It was called Bag End?
Bag End. Yeah.
I respect that so stinking much.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I can hear just see the. Yeah.
I can
now
sleep to that music.
Yeah.
It's so good. So peaceful. Yeah. So I guess that's after mom and dad pass away. He goes to live with his aunt. Do you say aunt or aunt?
I say aunt.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to throw people for a loop and throw aunt in there every once in a while.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you've got a guy that says it. You're like, I guess I should.
Yeah.
When in Rome.
Yeah. When in Rome, do as the Romans do.
That's
or
right.
mess them up, just say auntie.
Auntie. You could do that also. Number 3, his experience during World War I influenced the creation of Middle Earth in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. For example, the serene mountains of Switzerland, Rivendell, where the elves live.
I get it.
Yeah. And then, go ahead.
No, sorry. I was going to make a neutral joke, but
yeah,
it wasn't going to be funny.
No, I got you. Yeah. Because of the Swiss.
The Swiss.
Yes, that's right. And then the trenches of the battlefields inspired Mordor, of course.
Mordor, okay.
Yeah.
I can see
So, yeah, absolutely. So his time in the trenches, he contracted chronic, chronic fever.
Ooh.
Oh, you can contract lice.
Lice?
Lice and high fever, they send him home.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's an easy ticket out.
Oh, yeah, definitely an easy ticket out. The Australians call lice nits. Now I feel itchy.
Yeah, I'm like touching my
You were like going for your eyebrow.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, dude. So that's what it got him home. Not a lost leg or anything like that. I mean, a lot of guys came back maimed. You know?
Yeah.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah. So, but if you think about it, once again, back then, chronic fever, it was not like, oh yeah, just throw in some acetaminophen or something like that.
That's true.
It's like you get a fever and there's
Yeah.
a good chance you could die.
That's true. That's true.
I didn't know that part about it actually.
Yeah.
For him being sent home for that, it's incredibly interesting, but also puts it into perspective just how different the times were back then. Where a fever and lice,
you're done.
You're done.
Out.
You're done. But lice, they can eventually, you get infested with lice, they're giving you sickness too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Like, I think you could actually develop like toxic blood and all that from the lice. Yeah. Anyways, that's enough about lice.
I'm still itching my hands.
Yeah. I'm just not going to do it for you guys. But I do want to itch everywhere. Number 4, he was homeschooled by his mother and was reading by age 4. He commented that Alice in Wonderland was amusing but disturbing.
Okay.
Yeah.
The cat.
Yeah. Yes, I'm sure. And he also claimed that he was not a fan of Treasure Island. Not a fan.
Not a fan of Treasure Island.
That's a quote. He said that.
I will say this: J.R.R Tolkien is like the king of not giving a crap. Like in all honesty.
Yeah.
What was it? The books that he had forwards in like all of his books and the afterwards. And I won't go too specific because I don't want to take anything away. By the way, for anybody who doesn't, we don't tell each other like what we're going to be talking about. Like we try to make sure we keep it as spur of the moment for the other person as well too.
Yeah.
So there was one time he was talking about the critics.
Yeah.
Who were criticizing at that time the Fellowship of the Ring. And some of them were like, it was too long. And some of them were like, it's too short. And other people were like, at the end of the day, I just really don't care. And he replied back to all of them like in a newspaper. Like he took out like a full newspaper ad.
Nice.
And basically, in paraphrasing, he said, I've seen what you have cheered for and what you have raved for. Your opinions mean nothing to me at all.
Wow.
And he goes on to create one of the best fantasy just lands of all time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love it. He was such an inspiration for
Absolutely,
me and that part
man.
of his
life.
actually.
He just does not care. I mean, he was just going to be himself. He wasn't going to bow to anybody's. Just going to be him.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Not that he didn't take critique.
Yeah.
He was just very particular about who he took critique from.
Yes. That's funny, man.
Yeah.
All right. So, number 5. He created the 14 different languages spoken in Middle Earth.
That's freaking insane.
14 languages. That's crazy. I can barely speak one.
Yeah, I could 1 and like 2/16. A little bit of Spanish is in there.
Not 1/8.
No, not 1/8. I don't want to go that far because I don't like to break down fractions. So I'm just gonna stick with my original 2/16 because it just hit me what you referred to.
That was awesome. I like how you did that.
I just forgot how to math. You're right. That would be 1/8. Yeah.
No, it's 2/16. That's what you said.
2/16.
That's it. That's
Anyways,
awesome.
I'm competent in Spanish Mexican restaurants. That's where the story was going.
That's awesome. Thank you for that.
Elvish?
Yeah.
Obviously, and then you have. I'm not going to go through all of them, but like you have the elves, you have the
dwarves. Yeah.
You have like the stinking.
They call it. I think they call it black speech.
Yeah, the black speech. Thank you. Yeah. Black
Don't
speech.
Cancel Me. That's his book.
No, it's really called Black Speech.
I think so.
It's what the I almost call them the Dementors as well.
The Mentors,
Guys,
the
orcs.
orcs.
Long Sunday.
No, man, that's fine.
Anyways, yeah.
Is that the orcs? The language of the orcs
No,
and Sauron?
I don't think they speak the Black Speech. A lot of the orcs would speak, even in the movies and the books, they spoke common speech, which was English, and then they also spoke their language as well too.
Right.
I'm not gonna go too deep in because I thought I knew more about all of the different languages than I thought it, but as I'm talking, I'm like.
No, but you're right. Like, I mean, I can see where there's 14 because there's even the men that have different languages between themselves.
Correct.
Like different in Rohan than in Gondor.
Yeah.
And I even as I say those out loud, I feel like more of a nerd.
Oh, do you see the smile? It's like a
I do.
Like smile.
I'm in good company.
Yeah,
sure.
I really just started getting into Lord of the Rings hardcore probably about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And it's so like everything is still so new, and I love hearing about it all.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I didn't tell you I finished Return of the King.
Let's go.
Reading. Yay for reading.
Yay, reading.
Yeah. Well, I was reading it before I went to bed every night. It was like 2 or 3 pages.
Yeah.
Because then I would just pass out.
Did you read the after that kind of like gave like a brief description of everything that happened afterwards?
I'm in the middle of that. I'm in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It's the appendices.
Yeah.
And so it gives all this history. And I'm watching Rings of Power.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing stuff about Numenor or Numenor.
Numenor.
Yeah, in the appendices. And I'm like, whoa, this is where they got it.
Yeah.
I'm imagining there's other writings that he did that they're pulling from, but I'm reading about it in the appendix right now, Appendix A.
Yeah, the fact of how deep he goes into just this land that he's built is one of my favorite things about him.
Yeah,
completely.
He's so creative, man.
Yeah.
Number 6, Tolkien remained a devout Catholic all of his life, and when the Vatican decreed that masses should be held in English rather than Latin, Tolkien heartily disapproved. And he continued to give his responses in Mass when he was there in Latin as loud as he could. So he got like it goes back to what you said about the yes.
Dude,
I didn't know that.
Give a crap.
No, he doesn't, and that makes a lot of sense to me. Because when I was researching, I didn't get like that doesn't really jive with what I've heard. But you're right.
Yeah.
He's like, this is what why are we doing it in English? Why are we dumbing this down?
Yeah.
Is what I basically is what I'm getting from him.
Yeah. Now there could be arguments made on both sides as well too. I mean, that's the whole reason we got the King James Bible in the first place was to not dumb it down, but to make it available more for
people understand it, what they're saying.
But for him, like him in like the entire like all of his, because he was friends with like C.S. Lewis. Like, they had like their whole. I would get it. He would probably be a staunch, like, stick to some of the traditions. And, like, he's like, I put this much time and effort into learning Latin.
Yep.
Why do I all of a sudden have to dumb myself down because everybody else doesn't?
Because nobody else understands what you're saying.
Probably his line of thought.
Yeah.
Or he could see, like, some of, like, there is worship in, like, tradition and stuff. Like, some people have a very stout like that.
You're right. They do.
I'm glad it is in English.
Oh, yes. If I were attending Mass, yes, I would want it in English. Because I want to know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Number 7. Middle-earth was a world built upon Old Norse and Germanic culture, which made Tolkien a natural draw for the Nazis.
Okay.
However, he loathed Hitler, and he was quoted as calling or referring to Hitler as a ruddy little ignoramus. That's what he called him. Yeah, like he smartly insulted him.
Yeah.
Yes. Ruddy little ignoramus.
Hitler was probably so high in methamphetamine and farting, he probably didn't even comprehend that he was getting dissed.
No, he probably did. I saw a video of him. I mean, this is total off topic. Of Hitler.
At the Olympics?
Yes, on speed.
Yeah. And he's like there, like.
Oh, dude, and his hand is going.
Yeah.
I think it was Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was playing a video of it. I just saw a clip of it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my gosh, this guy was. How could everyone in the world not see him? Because that was broadcast.
Yeah.
Him just kind of. What would you call that?
He was just kind of like not tripping. I would say kind of not a trip, but he was like
tweaking.
Tweaking.
Yeah, he was not twerking.
Twerking, not twerking. However, if video ever does come out with Hitler twerking. I'm not, this is going to sound bad, but I would give him some points. I would give Hitler some points if I saw a video of him twerking, because you know how ahead of his time he had to be? Hatred, that had been done for centuries prior to him. That was nothing new. But Hitler comes out and starts twerking, you know? I'm going whatever.
This is
I'm going to give him some points.
Yes, you are. I am.
That's it.
I think we're editing that out.
We might. I don't like Hitler.
We do appreciate the clarification.
I don't. Just in case, I feel like it should have to be clarified as a minority myself.
Everybody knows that.
As a minority myself, I'm like, I have no reason to like Hitler.
That's hilarious. Thank you for that.
And neither did J.R.R Tolkien. He didn't.
No, and he would have been widely accepted. And there's some other comments. If you could look up of what he had to say about the Nazi Party, or he was asked one time of his Aryan ancestry, and he was like, Aryan refers to Middle Eastern, and because if you look up like Caucasian, that includes Middle East, and Aryan, like the actual definition, he's like, this doesn't apply to me, but if you are trying to differentiate me from the Jews, who are a wonderful people, you can. I'm jealous that I'm not Jewish. Like he was like, again, it goes back to what you said. Like he did not care. He was like just gonna punch Hitler in the face. And we have to realize, like, in the middle of World War II, you don't know the outcome. You've not watched History Channel yet. You don't know what's gonna end up happening. Because if he takes over UK, which looked like he might have,
we're getting close. Yes. With Blitzkrieg and everything like that.
Then you're over. Yeah. Sorry, that was way off
it's
topic.
Great. And no, I love it. Those little, who knows? We might just have something that's only on TikTok and not on YouTube.
That is awesome. Number 8, written between 1937 and 1949, so covering that whole area. whole era.
Uh-huh.
The Lord of the Rings was finally published in 3 volumes in 1954 and 1955. However, the story was never meant to be a trilogy. The decision to split up the books was done by the publishers.
The publishers.
Yes.
That makes sense because even it's book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4, book 5, book 6. There's 2 books in each book technically.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, did he not break it up? Like, no, of course he didn't. He just wrote it all together.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it was to limit their financial risk, and so he was completely unhappy with this decision.
Really?
But I mean, in the end, it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
But he was not a big fan of it. But he allowed it to go through. But
yeah.
Publishers can be convincing with their checkbooks.
Yeah, they could be convincing with their checkbooks, but also get at the same time. I mean, I feel like back then, I don't think fantasy was necessarily like, maybe not frowned upon, but it was considered more of like a cheaper form of like reading entertainment.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I could get the fact that we don't want to take a risk on this.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we've seen all throughout. They did it with Lord of the Rings, and then even going as far now into the 21st century is Star Wars.
Yep.
Like Fox, and they were afraid to take a risk. As well. So new things, people are afraid.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, they usually turn out to be the most profitable.
Oh yeah, huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. That he was again expressing his opinion on this stuff. But so number 9, Tolkien was known for his rather schoolboyish sense of humor. And I thought this was really strange because I always think of him with a pipe and he's buttoned up and he's just very. So one time he dressed up like a Viking and grabbed an axe and he chased a neighbor down the road. Isn't that weird? That's weird, man. That's really cool though. He was into it.
I just want to be this guy's friend so bad.
Yeah. Too bad he's dead.
Yeah. Too bad he's dead.
Like a long time dead.
A long time dead. But at the same time, I feel like even if I was like got in time machine, I'd go back and I'd go like, have dinner with Tolkien and just see what kind of shenanigans happened.
Yes, right?
Especially now that like we could look back and like we know so much about him, I would just hit on every nerve. Like, hey, you want to go hit over some mailboxes? And Tolkien would be like,
with an axe?
Yes. Yeah, with an axe.
And we'll go pick up CS.
Yeah.
And he's in the back all complaining the whole time.
CS comes like, my sword.
Whoa, this is awesome.
Yes. Like, I don't have a bow, guys. I can't. I'll be right back.
That is awesome, man.
Yeah.
Time travel. That's I think that's coming soon. Maybe through Jeff Bezos or Elon. Who's going to come up with it?
I feel like we got to hit Mars first.
You think that, and then that's we got to cross that threshold first.
Yeah, I think that there has to be certain things that happened. By the way, fun fact, this has nothing to do with this as well. Either China just found like a new mineral on the moon that could be a source for like unlimited energy. Yeah, they're developing a system to bring it all back right now. And it's like 6 grams could power, or sorry, like 22 grams could power New York City for like a year.
That's like is it Mithril? What's the ore in Middle Earth?
Oh, Mithril?
Mithril.
Yes. Yeah, see, we are doing the tie-in like that. Yeah,
wow.
Except for that can stop anything pretty much from hitting it. But
wow.
I'm thinking that this mission to the moon is not so much about going to Mars, but maybe some other things as well too. Nothing to do with C.S. Lewis. Is just
no, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, so research that up and look up companies that are developing lunar type filtration and all that jazz.
That's amazing.
That's going to be the moneymaker.
Yes, that's next one.
Yeah.
Number 10. Because of its post-Second World War publication, most people believed Sauron was based on
Hitler.
Adolf Hitler.
Uh-huh.
However, he was based on a character in one of Tolkien's favorite boyhood books. And I haven't heard of this before.
Mm-hmm.
It's called The Black Douglas.
The Black Douglas.
So its villain, Giles de Ritz, was based on a French knight and an associate of Joan of Arc. So he was a convicted child murderer.
Mm-hmm.
And so Crockett's character was also a devil worshiper. So child murderer, devil worshiper.
Got it.
Allied with a shape-shifting witch.
Okay.
And a pack of wolves.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very similar to Sauron's wargs.
Yeah.
And so it was these evil attributes and associations that helped to shape Sauron, not Hitler.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Even in the Fellowship of the Ring, before they all split up and before they were getting ready to encounter the Balrog, when they were trying to get underground, they were getting chased by wolves, even
Right.
like throughout, and that's why
Yes.
they had to get rid of their horses and everything too.
That's right. But
Yeah.
with Bill.
Yeah,
Bill the
Bill.
horse.
Who
Bill
survived?
the pony.
Bill
Yes,
the pony.
yes.
I was so happy about Bill the pony surviving.
Yeah.
And also he got to see him in like Return of the King and went like full circle.
Yes.
Yeah. I was so
Finally
happy about
came
that.
back, and he's, oh my God, look who's here.
Yeah.
It's Bill.
Bill.
It's Bill. And what a name for a pony. Also.
Yeah.
Well, are you ready for some quizzle dizzle, my friend?
Quizzle dizzle.
Oh, excellent. I like that. Let's change it up. All right. So Tolkien created many races that lived in Middle Earth.
Okay.
Which race did he consider himself to be? A, an elf, B, a human, C, a hobbit, or D, a dwarf?
This is a great question because I have no idea. So you're saying Tolkien considered himself to be most alike to one of these four races?
Yes, I am.
An elf, human, hobbit, or dwarf?
Yeah, that's right.
Man, see all the stories we've been talking about? You can see him a little self-righteous a little bit. I
Yeah.
can see he could come across that way. So you want to lean elf
Mm-hmm.
right off the bat. I don't see dwarf unless he's talking about like symbolism as far as breaking away the rock as he's writing down the pages.
Mm.
No, I'm thinking about this too much. I already know I
You
am.
were were analyzing here.
Man, that would be too obvious because he's a man himself. A hobbit. I'm going to say elf.
You're going to say
Final
elf.
answer.
Okay.
Elf, final answer.
I'm not going to give you an answer in traditional form. I'm just going to read you a quote
Okay.
from Tolkien himself.
Okay.
I am, in fact, a hobbit.
No!
In all but size. I like gardens, trees, and unmechanized farmlands. I smoke a pipe, and I like good plain food, but detest French cooking. I like, and even dare to wear in these dull days, ornamental waistcoats. I am fond of mushrooms, and I'm thinking edible mushrooms that
Yeah,
are not
yeah.
making him high.
No.
Um,
That's why he's got the pipe weed.
Exactly. There you go. Have a very simple sense of humor, and I go to bed late and get up late, and I do not travel much. And then I have a second bonus question for you.
Yes.
What was Frodo's original name before everything was published? He had an original name. A, Andor. B, Bingo. C, Leonard. Or D, Gentry.
Man.
Andor, Bingo, Leonard, or Gentry?
It's a trick question. I bet you it's Andor.
Oh, man.
Am I wrong?
It's bad, man. It's bad. It's Bingo.
It's Bingo?
His original name was Bingo.
Bingo was his name. Oh,
Right.
You were just throwing that in there for giggles. My
No,
man.
dude. That one was too weird. That's so weird it's true.
I almost guessed Leonard because it was so off.
Yeah. And of course, I don't know if you're enjoying Andor right now.
I have seen the first episode.
Yeah.
I'm backlogged a little bit. Is it good?
I'm enjoying it, man.
You're enjoying it? I enjoyed the first episode.
That's J.R.R. Tolkien, y'all.
Yeah.
A hero to many, incredibly brilliant man.
Mm-hmm.
If
And
you
he knew it.
And he knew it.
He knew
Yes.
it.
And he let people know. If you have not checked out any of his works, read the books. Listen to the book on tape.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so anxious to say that.
Audiobook.
Audiobook.
Yeah.
Watch the movies, dude. You cannot go wrong with those.
Mm-hmm.
They're incredible.
I'm just starting the Silmarillion.
Yeah.
Which is like the Bible of Middle Earth,
Yes,
basically.
yes.
And it's
I've
like
not
the
done that
entire
yet.
history.
Yeah. That's incredible. Okay.
It's
Is that
gonna be
on audiobook?
Yeah.
I think I
Oh,
need
yeah.
to do. Yeah.
That one
yeah.
might be an audiobook one.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. But anyways, that's it, y'all. That's the Tolkien episode. We had to do one. But thank you for watching. We appreciate you. Go ahead and subscribe and share if you would.
Yeah, and above all else, be kind to one another and just don't waste your time on She-Hulk. It's not that great.
That's good advice. We'll see you next time.
Adios.